Paul, thank you very much for coming, and Raj, thank you for that very kind introduction. And you can tell I'm an American. I just met Raj 5 minutes ago, and I'm calling him by his first name already. I have a friend and business partner in New Delhi who still calls me Mr. Vernon. So it's a little different in cultures, and we understand how each works together. I've heard some really good presentations about leadership here at this conference. And frankly, I'm not going to talk to you about leadership. The title is Leadership, the Long-Term Perspective, and we're going to focus on the long-term perspective. Before we get started again, I don't know if you noticed by the door there is a bowl, and I invite you to drop a business card in the bowl. At the end of the session today, I'll draw a card and give away a copy of my book. I think you will find it interesting, certainly different than anything else that you've probably seen in a little while. Long-term perspective. That is where our focus is today. There we go. Okay, we're going to talk about one component of leadership. I happen to think it's one of the most important components of leadership. That's foresight, the long-term perspective. Looking ahead 10, 15, 25 years. We're talking about the future. And that is my area, studies of the future, foresight and future studies. Long-term perspective is the ability to look ahead, one of the most sought-after leadership traits. This is by Kouzes and Posner, authors of The Leadership Challenge. And I chose them as a reference because they are not only writers, they are researchers. And their information comes from inquiring amongst many, many organizations, HR organizations as well, about what do they look for when they hire a leader. They feel that long-term perspective is second only to honesty as an attribute. And I believe this points out the importance of a long-term perspective in leadership. How long is long-term? Long-term to a futurist is 10 years or longer. Usually 10 to 25 years, because futurists are looking at the way the forces in our society are moving, and it takes about 10 years for forces to play out, and it takes, by the time you get to 25 years, it's a little hard to read the forces. Although there are futurists who study by the centuries, even one organization in Seattle that is looking at the year 3000.